Hello everyone. As you see, we are back for our second video for today. We are doing Deuteronomy chapter 22. More laws, as you see. Not you shall see the ox of your brother or his sheep going astray and hide yourself from them. Turning, you shall turn them back. So basically, even though it's property of your brother, do good for your brother. If you see, hey, your animal is gotten out, I'm going to help you. Now, that's how it's going to work for today, which is if you have a neighbor and you love your neighbor, as God says, if you see the animal getting out of the yard, help them. Keep the animal safe. Turn the animal back to the yard, say, hey, your animal got loose, here's your animal. You will show love and kindness in doing that. And that's the essence for you and me today. Now, this is talking about Jews. Same principle, but still about Jews. And if, conditional statement, if not is near your brother to you, I mean, if he doesn't happen to be close to you, and if not, you do know him, and you shall bring it to the middle of your own house, and it shall remain with you until your brother seeks. So basically, if I can't find you, let me take it into my house, hold on to it, keep it safe until such time as you would go looking for it. And you shall restore it to him when that time comes that he goes looking for it. And so shall you do with his donkey, and so shall you do with his garment. So it doesn't matter whether it's a living thing or whether it's a physical thing. And so shall you do with any lost thing that your brother that is lost by him. So it doesn't matter what it is. And you have found it, not you must hide yourself. So don't keep it a secret. Don't act like it's not your position to help. Not you shall see the donkey of your brother, or his ox fall down along the road and hide yourself. So be helpful in other words from them. You shall raise them up with him. You shall be helpful, be an assistance. Not shall be anything that pertains to a man upon a woman, and not shall put on a man the garment of a woman. Now this is letting you know that cross-dressing is incorrect. It is Deuteronomy 22:5. So basically, a man is not to have anything of a woman is not to put anything of a man. Okay? Stop dressing like each other, in other words. And it says, for it is an abomination to Yahweh, your God. Is anyone doing these things? Now, in the context of the verse we're talking about, this is referring to Jews that are cross-dressing. Okay? A Jewish man that would, for whatever reason, be gay and dress up like a female, and vice versa. Okay? I can't really imagine a whole lot of people doing that, but there might be. Okay? And it lets you know it is an abomination. It's something disgusting and foul to our Yahweh. Okay? Now, to you, me today, this is still applicable today. It is still an abomination. That's why in the New Testament, it lets you know that homosexuals will not go to heaven. Then it gives you a if statement right after. If is encountered the nest of a bird to your face, along the way in any tree or on the ground with chicks or eggs, so baby birds or eggs, and with the mother sitting on the chicks or on the eggs, not. You shall take the mother with the sons. So you shall not take it. It's a family. Let them go. Let them live. Let them be at peace. Sending, you shall send away the mother and the young. Take for yourselves that it may be well with you, and that may prolong your days. So, sorry, hold on. So, continuing on, basically, don't be mean to these animals. Take care of these animals, and if they are a joint family, care for that family. Let them go upon their way. For the purpose of what? That it may go well with you and that your life be prolonged. So even if it's an animal, God still honors you and what you do for that. When you build a new house, and you shall make a parapet for your roof, that not you may bring blood in your on your house. If falling, one falls from it, from the roof. Not you shall sow your vineyards with two kinds of seeds. So these are just rules. So there's one about putting some sort of thing on top of the roof and making sure that people don't fall, I guess, be safe. And then verse 9, not you shall sow in your vineyard two different kinds of seeds, lest be defiled the yield of the seed that you have sown and the fruit of the vineyard. Now, this part right here actually would connect to us in the sense of don't mix seeds of the devil and seeds of the Lord in your heart. And in doing that, you would be defiled because you would be polluted. Okay. If a seed that is planted in you is a seed of goodness or badness, what happens when you mix dirt and water? You end up with mud. Do you think God wants mud living in you? No. He doesn't want spiritual mud. He wants spiritual fresh water. Okay. And if you mix two different kinds of seeds, that's defiling it, polluting it. It pollutes the whole. It would be the idea of having a rotten part of your body. Say your arm no longer has blood flowing to it and it starts rotting away, right? Well, most of the time what they would do is they would amputate that part of the body. They would cut it off so that the rest of the body would not get polluted and get sick because of that part of the body. Okay. And that is one of the examples where they would amputate or cut off that part of the body. So I hope you get the meaning. If you leave that part of the body there and it's rotting away, that rotten flesh is going to contaminate the rest of the body to the point of your entire body dying. Then we have verse 10. Not you shall plow with an ox and a donkey together. So don't join together an animal that's for one purpose and an animal that's for another purpose. Now this verse that we just read, verse 10, when it talks about you shall not plow together an ox and a donkey, the way you should receive that as far as the application for you would be the equivalent of when it says you shall not be unequally yoked. An ox was for a specific purpose. A donkey was for a different purpose. They're not meant to be together. Okay. And then verse 11. Not you shall wear mixed material, wool and linen mixed together. Keep in mind all of this is for Jews. Okay. But certain parts would have biblical connections to us today. Like I said, that part about the donkey and the ox, that would be kind of connected in a way to being unequally yoked with an unbeliever, which would not work so well if you were a believer and they were not a believer. Verse 12, tassels you shall make for yourselves on the four corners of the clothing with which you cover yourself with it. Okay. Then we move on to the next section. Violations of marriage. This would be very good. So let's look at this. If, conditional statement, because it could happen or it could not happen. If takes any man a wife. If, in other words, if ish takes an isha, and he goes into her, that means have sex with her, and then he detests her after having sex, and he charges her with conduct shameful, right? He accuses her of something and brings on her a name bad because of his words. And he says, the woman, this I took, and I came near to her, and not I did find her a virgin. So now we get context of what this is talking about. So if this situation occurs that she hasn't been honest with herself to be a virgin, what's the situation? What happens? Let's look at it. And shall take the father of the young woman and the mother and bring out the tokens of virginity of the young woman to the elders of the city of the gate, at the gate. And shall say the father of the young woman to the elders, my daughter I gave to the man this as a wife, and he detests her. So basically explaining to the elders, hey, here's the situation. And behold, he has charged her with conduct shameful. She's cheated, she slept around, saying, not I found your daughter a virgin. And these are the tokens of virginity of my daughter. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, and shall take the elders of the city, that the man, that they should discipline him. And they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give them to the father of the young woman, because he has brought a name bad on the virgin. So hear that one. I want you to really hear that. The man finds out his wife is not a virgin. She's done the shameful act. And yet, the man who has exposed her, he's the one that has to pay the parent, the father of the young woman, for the purpose that he has spread her name as being bad on a virgin. Okay? Of Israel. And to him she shall be the wife not. So she shall no longer be counted as a wife. He may divorce her. The word may means he has the right to divorce her at that moment, because she's still been unfaithful. So in other words, both sides are paying the price. Okay? Because she's been unfaithful, he has the right to divorce her. And because he was wrong in exposing her and making her name bad, tearing her name down. Okay? And he may divorce her all his days for the rest of his life. Okay? Then it says, but if true is the thing this, and not are found tokens of virginity for the young woman, so if she doesn't happen to be a virgin, and if the statement is true that she has actually cheated, then what happens? Then you shall bring out the young woman to the door of the house of her father, and shall stone her, the men of the city, with stones to death, because she has done a disgraceful thing in Israel to play the prostitute in the house of her father. And you shall put away the evil from among her. So now we get context. So let's backtrack. The first section, now that we understand the second section, the first section is talking about if she's accused and she's actually innocent. That's that tokens of virginity. You can prove she's a virgin. Okay. And he's just upset with her because there's something about her he doesn't like. Then he's to pay her for bad mouthing, right? And because he's no longer happy with her, he has the right to divorce her. And then this second section is talking about, as we see, if it is the case that she's actually cheated, committed adultery, then she's to be killed. And the stoning her would actually be physical death. It wouldn't be exiling or any of that. Okay. If is found a man lying with a woman married. So if a man lays in bed with a woman who is married to another husband, to another person, I mean, married to a husband, then they shall die. Who shall die? The man that lays with the woman and the woman, both. They shall die. Even the two of them, the man that lay with the woman and the woman, you shall put away the evil from Israel. Okay. Now, this simply says they shall die, and it says you shall put away. Okay, from Israel. So that would also mean physical death. We get the context. If it is a young woman, a virgin, so if she is a virgin and she is betrothed to her husband and finds her a man in the city and lies with her, so he rapes her of some sort, whether it's consensual or not, then you shall bring out the two of them to the gate of the city and shall stone them with stones and to death. The young woman, on the account of the matter, because not she did cry out. In other words, that would kind of not be reminiscent of rape, because usually if you're raped, you're going to cry for help. Okay? Not she did cry out. She was silent. She conceded to it in the city. And upon the man, because this thing he humbled the wife of his neighbor. Okay? And you shall put away the evil from among you. That means discard it, get it away from you. Remember, God is calling Israel to be holy people. And what that means is, because you're holy people, you're not to have any sort of evil involved in you at all. And if it is in you, discard it, throw it away. But if in the countryside finds the man a young woman betrothed and forces her, the man, and lies with her, so this would be rape, this part, and shall die the man who lay with her only. So only the man dies. So if rape occurs, the man is the one that's guilty, he dies. But if she concedes to it for whatever reason and doesn't yell out for help and doesn't scream or any of that, they both die. And to the young woman, not you shall do anything. Not in the young woman is sin. She didn't do anything. She was offended. Right? An offense happened to her. She did no offense herself. In the young woman, not is any sin, for as when rises a man against his neighbor and kills him, even so is the matter this. So, in the same way that a man who kills another man, the one who has done the sin is the one who has killed the other one, right? And in this particular case, it's referring to murder, because we know one of the Ten Commandments is you shall not murder, okay? For in the countryside, he found her, right? Out in the country, basically, he found her and cried out, and the young woman betrothed, and there was no one to save her. So even though she might have cried out because she's being raped, no one was around to save her. No one was there to help her. Then there's another conditional statement. If finds a man, a young woman, a virgin, who not is betrothed at all, she's free, and he seizes her, right? That would be takes advantage of her. This seize would be by force. So he has his way with her and lies with her. And they are found out, both of them. Then shall give the man who lay with her, to the father of the young woman 50 shekels of silver, the bride price. And to him she shall be as a wife. So in other words, if you ended up jumping into bed with a person who was a virgin but was not betrothed to anybody, she was to become your wife. And you would pay 50 shekels of silver for her to the father. And shall be the wife upon that he has humbled her. Not he shall be permitted to divorce her. So in that case, he's not ever permitted to divorce her all the days of her life, because he has forced her to be spouse. Because he has forced her to become his spouse, he cannot divorce her at all. Not shall take a man the wife of his father. So a man shall not lie down with his dad's wife. This would be his stepmother. Okay? With his stepmother. He shall uncover the skirt of his father. Okay? He shall not lie down with his stepmother, in other words. Translation, don't have sex with your stepparents. Okay? Now, keeping in mind, this is all for the Jews. Some parts of it might apply to you in some sort of aspect, but majority of this, if not all of this, as far as the context of the chapter, it's referring to stuff for the Jews. Okay? It's still good to listen to. That's why even in the New Testament it says, even though we're not under the law, we still uphold the law, we still respect the law. We keep the law. We keep it within us. Right? That doesn't mean we're under the law. It's not what that means. Okay? You honor and you respect it. In other words, I see the law and I see areas of the law that are good and fruitful. I see areas of the law and things in the law that, wow, that is respectful, right? So you get the idea. Anyway, guys, I will see you at the next recording.